Today we'll be diving into our business case regarding the Johnson family, and we're gonna look into having this in a conversation form such that you can be able to understand it better and have much more clarity on this platform. As I've indicated before, the YouTube channel is whereby we actually detail everything such that you can be able to get the understanding and the sense of how things are applicable in the business nature and how you can actually elevate and improve your skills from this. I'm Matada, PMP Certified Project Manager. Today we're gonna look into this case with the focus only on building the business case. Now, what is a business case? A business case is a document that actually indicates or give the options and the motivation before the sponsors about the project. And the project, when it's on the business case proposal, it should also indicate how will it affect or benefit the organization in overall, as it is the business case. It should showcase how the business will benefit. And in most cases, this can be looked over as well to be driven or to be integrated with the overall business strategy. On the business case document, we need to showcase the current state for the Johnson family, options that they have, timeline that we anticipate, funding sources, risks that are major, anticipated benefits, and also to showcase the return on investment. This is what we're going to emphasize within the business case. Starting off looking into the current state. The current state is when you're looking into driving more of a pain to the client, more to the pain to your sponsor, more of the pain to your organization. But this is the pain that you're showing that if we remain stagnant, we might suffer the consequences. Previous giants company in the phones market that didn't make it will make you understand they just remain stagnant and the trend was moving faster than we didn't have the business case that showed the emphasis on the problem of what they were sitting on currently compared to those that were moving. The emphasis on this case is to showcase the Johnson family that if they remain as they are, they will still have, you're just going to incur more space issues. And with the cars staying outside, insurance companies are likely going to adjust more of these premiums because in recent years they suffered paying a lot in hailstorms. There was a lot of damage on the cars. Some of them were even on the carports, but they still suffered the damage. Insurance companies are likely to decrease premiums based on such cars that are not in secured space. The household valuation will likely remain the same or increase as the market is increasing. The opportunity for the Johnson family is that if they do have a garage, they might have the property valuation also increasing. But let's now look into the options that we're giving them. They've got the options of doing nothing, whereby they're going to remain as they are and they're going to pay more insurance premiums as the years go. And they're still going to have space issues if they don't do anything about it, and their situation will be as it is. If the Johnson family says we don't have the full amount to go into the whole project scale, but we want to do something that can be remedial for the current situation, and that's when they may look into things like a carport. Now, with a carport, they're gonna save in terms of the capital in comparison to going for the full garage. Yet they're still gonna have to understand that the carport is not gonna increase the house valuation as much as the garage, and the carport is not gonna help them with the storage facility of their tools, and the carport is also not going to help them with much coverage for their cars, which they still can have that significant percentage of premium, as I've indicated about the mid-range situation. Looking That is the partial situation. Then some cases spend 6 months or 3 months on the planning phases and more into building a case around the project viability. Going now into doing the maximum, which is the garage building, we're looking into the situation whereby now the Johnson family is saying, okay, go ahead, build the garage for me. The house valuation is likely going to increase because now we're going to have an additional structure which now has got a value that we can add into our property valuation. And with that, we're also going to have the space for our equipment and also the tools. Now we're going to have the security improvement in terms of the cars, of which now we can also get the insurance discount out of that because now we're having our cars covered from the hail and also improved chances of security also from theft. Moving into the timeline of the project, we are showcasing now how will the timeline of the project play out. This is why we're preparing the Johnson family to say, you might see us implementing this project, being here in your property, having execution going on for this duration. Then they can also have to prepare themselves for alterations or basically the mindset to actually align with that. More cleaning for them because of the in and out that is going to be happening. How long should they prepare that for? How long can Mrs. Johnson put up with a lot of contractors coming in and out, making noise and all that? Timeline that we're looking at, we're going to break it down into planning and approval, whereby we estimate a duration of about 2 weeks, construction phases about 2 months, and also the post-construction evaluation. In the post-evaluation, this is also the part whereby we also do the handover, whereby we go through the inspection of the project, which is more like we're doing the quality checks and also some of the other benefits. That way, timeline to say we're going to look into this before we can say the project was a success or not, such that we can have that being evaluated. I'm trying to avoid getting involved into some of the documents that we might have in the future videos around this project. Will it be through a bank loan or will it be through their savings? That is critical in your business case because you might want to show emphasis on the return of investment, whether it is viable or not for the organization or the client actually go into making a loan and looking into the comparison of the interest rate that they're likely going to pay in comparison to the returns of these projects. The project must not look into building a business case focusing on only its own, but it should look into the overall operations and how it will impact the client and also how it will impact the business in overall. That is just a reminder that you must also have in mind to actually know that we are going to look into the business case as an integral document that actually motivates the project viability. We are going to showcase to the Johnson family the timeline for benefit, which are the benefits that they're going to see in that timeline. Now, the Johnson family is going to see the benefits in terms of their car capacities under shelter and improved security. And now we will likely going to see that the Johnson family, I would like to imagine Mr. Johnson, by the day that the project is finished, he is going to be taking that first weekend into moving every tool in order in the garage. And he's likely to make sure that he knows which tools are sorted where and having his golf equipment and tennis equipment put accordingly as well. And Mrs. Johnson, she's likely to also put up her home exercising equipment there. These are short-term benefits. The medium to long-term benefit for the Johnson family are benefits such as house evaluation. For the bank, likely is rating their house for let's say 1 million, and then after the evaluation now with the garage, the bank might say, you know what, after say 6 months of the garage being built, we can say now the house it's now valued at 1.2 million. And now that is a good value, even though the project might have taken 300,000, but having that project making the home to actually escalate like that with the years, in 5 years' time, that additional 200,000 will also have increased with the interest rate and the inflation. That actually affects the evaluation of property. Now, looking into the anticipated benefits and disbenefits. The anticipated benefits is that increased home. We also have the cars that are now secured from bad weather and also from theft. Going into the disbenefits, Miss Johnson is working from home. She's gonna be having these contractors working and making noise due to equipment and also the movement around her home that can be destructive. Looking into that, that is a disbenefit that can be occurring while the project benefit is being built. You need to also look into that, and what you can look into it alternatively, you can call it the inconveniences of the project. When you look into inconveniences, that is when now you're looking into the overall that may occur during the phase of the project, and sometimes it can also occur after the project. Moving in now into the return on investment, we're looking into the projects having increased the property value of the Johnson. The payback period as well. If the Johnson family taken a loan, we will anticipate and draw down to say how long will they take to pay back the money in terms of the return. But in this case, it's a bit different because it's a domestic project and the garage is not going to be selling anything. It's a property valuation appraisal that we're going to see as an investment return. The major risks that the Johnson family is likely to experience, we need to stipulate this. You might incur the risks such as delay in a project schedule due to bad weather. That is now when we talk about the risks that we need to accept because we cannot mitigate the bad weather in this space. Contractors dispute, budget overruns. We can have the risk of spending more than we budgeted for. We're looking into how the cost will be controlled throughout the project. The environment impact analysis on our project. Now looking into the Johnson family project, the environment impact is at minimum, and we're looking into risks of noise and also dust coming out of that project, which it might depend also how close are the neighbors and also how bad is the wind on the day of execution. But in overall, the Johnson family's project had minimal environmental impact. We have more of analyzed all the necessary key areas that actually needs to be addressed within the project business case. Now comparing into the industrial projects, whereby you'll find the relevance and environmental impact analysis, this can go on to be a big document that can even be taken to the regulatory bodies. Looking at it from the mining area perspective, this is when now when you are saying you're gonna have the tailings dam, you need to showcase the analysis of the environmental impact. What mineral are you detailing? What chemicals is the process using? What are the around the area going to suffer in terms of the smell and the risk of that dam actually collapsing? We have seen this also recently with the Free State incident that occurred within the mining industry. looking into the motivating the environmental impact of the business case on such scales such as in mining industry. This can take some time because you need approval from the E to approve that plan and actually go to the site and oversee that your environmental impact is something that can be mitigated and it's within what you can manage. And in many cases, companies pay towards the rehabilitation of the land after the mining has been closed. What the DMRE has stipulated is that that amount should be paid while operations is happening, such that now when the operation is done, the DMRE can release the funds to have rehabilitation of the land. As that is just a life realistic check such that you can find relevance of having this subject of environmental impact analysis in the business case, such that you don't go on into the next project and avoiding it, and also trying not to consider. Business case should have minimal detail in terms of the length. It shouldn't be that long because it is more like you are still proposing to get the approval, but in showcasing that some of these things, such as environmental impact, you can omit depending on the nature of your project. If it's not relevant, but again, if you put it there, you can still put to say it in short, there are no environmental impact analysis that we foresee. Having to show you that case is so that when you move from project to a different project, you don't actually take it like environmental analysis are not important. Thank you for staying tuned. I hope this has been helpful. It is something that you can carry on into your career and something that you look forward to improve managing business case with better clarity. You can go into our blog and get the document we have prepared out of this project. In the next documents, we're going to prepare the project charter. Stay tuned so that we can go on into building the Johnson family, their lovely garage from the project management perspective. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe.